I get eager scrolling through endless options for a pellet grill, trying not to waste cash on something that sounds great on paper but ends up just taking up space in the garage. You've probably already imagined the first brisket you'll smoke, the ribs you'll turn into a crowd pleaser, and then the nagging question, will this actually work for my backyard setup, or am I just buying a fancy fire pit? That hesitation is real, and it's why I'm diving into the recteq X-Fire Pro 825 before you hit add to cart. Link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon. First off, let's put the X-Fire Pro into context. The pellet grill market has exploded over the past few years, and most models sit in one of three buckets: tiny tabletop units that can only handle a couple of burgers, mid-size grills that juggle a few racks of ribs, and the big, restaurant-grade rigs that promise to replace both your smoker and your grill. The X-Fire Pro lands in the third bucket, aiming to be a honest-stop shop for anyone who wants to throw on a steak quickly and go low and slow on a pork shoulder without swapping equipment. What really matters when you pull one of these out of the box is how it fits into your everyday routine. The first thing you notice is the 825 square inches of cooking space. That's enough room for 2 full-size pork shoulders, a couple of chicken trays, and still have room for a side of vegetables. In a real-world scenario, that means you can host a small family gathering and actually use the whole grill, rather than constantly shuffling trays around. If you've ever tried to smoke a turkey on a 500 square inch grill and ended up with uneven cooking, you'll appreciate that extra square footage. The dual cooking modes hot and fast plus low and slow are built into the control board. You set a temperature, and the Wi-Fi module holds it steady, adjusting pellet feed automatically. In practice, I've seen people use the fast mode to sear a steak at 500 F, then drop down to 225 F for a brisket without ever opening the lid. The Wi-Fi app lets you watch the temperature from your phone while you're inside, which is a huge convenience if you're the kind of person who likes to keep an eye on the grill without constantly checking the dial. For a backyard chef who wants to juggle a chicken, ribs, and a side of veggies all at once, that precision is the real selling point. Now, who should actually consider buying the X-Fire Pro? If you already have a solid propane grill and only occasionally dabble in smoking, you might find the price a bit steep for a hobby that's more once a month. On the other hand, if you're the type who plans weekend BBQs, enjoys experimenting with wood flavor profiles, and wants a single machine that can replace both a smoker and a grill, this is the sweet spot. The durable stainless steel construction also means you won't be worrying about rust if you live in a humid climate or keep it covered outside year-round. There are a few practical trade-offs you should be aware of. First, the pellet hopper holds about 20 pounds of wood pellets, which translates to roughly 1,215 hours of continuous cooking at 250 F. If you're planning an all-day smoke, you'll need to pause and reload, which interrupts the set-it-and-forget-it vibe. That's not a deal-breaker, but it's something to factor in when you schedule a marathon cook. Second, the Wi-Fi connectivity is solid most of the time, but a few users have reported occasional hiccups when the router is more than 30 feet away or when there's heavy network traffic. A simple solution is to place a range extender nearby, but it does add a tiny layer of complexity for the less tech-savvy. From a value-for-money standpoint, the headline specs expansive cooking space, versatile modes, precise temperature control are all backed up by how they actually play out on the patio. You get a grill that can sear a steak in under 5 minutes, and the same unit can hold a low and slow smoke for a whole pork but without needing a second appliance. That consolidation saves space, reduces the number of tools you have to clean, and eliminates the guesswork of matching a grill's heat profile to a smoker's. A few practical strengths worth highlighting. The ash collection tray slides out easily, so cleanup is a matter of a quick dump rather than a full-blown disassembly. The grill grates are cast iron and come pre-seasoned, which means you get that classic char flavor right out of the box, but you also have to maintain them just like you would any cast iron pan, regular oiling and avoiding harsh detergents. The built-in meat probe, which can be monitored via the app, lets you hit target internal temperatures without having to run back inside with a separate thermometer. And the warranty support that recteq advertises has been praised for responsive service, which is reassuring given the investment. On the flip side, The unit's footprint is roughly the size of a small refrigerator, so you'll need a dedicated spot.